there, so.
Oh, good. I was going to get confused. Oh, I think minimum. All right. Anson, you want to switch?
Go ahead, Anson.
Okay, obviously, we're absolutely thrilled to be advancing to the Final Four, and I certainly want to tip my hat to South Carolina and Shelley and her staff. In all honesty, our game is sometimes not fair. Should have been a tie at worst for South Carolina. They were outstanding. They created all kinds of chances, and they certainly deserve not to go out in this fashion. One of their seniors came up to me after the game, and I could just see her heart just broken, and I just really feel for the kids that have worked so hard on a great season for their team to not be there. But I'm certainly very proud of my kids, these two here especially. Lindsay for a great save on a penalty kick, and obviously playing well for us all season. And then Maddie Schultz has found the magic touch. Last 6 games, what is it, Dave, at 4 or 5?
She has 5 game winners in the last 8 games.
It's absolutely unbelievable. She's a freshman. And I asked her if she had 2 more in her, and she assured me that she did. So I'm just going to go golfing next weekend and find out that. Anyway, it was a tremendous, hard-fought game, and I don't want to pretend it was an attractive game because it certainly was not. From our perspective, it was almost like 90 minutes of sheer panic. And then obviously a wonderful goal from Maddie. But I certainly want to credit South Carolina and their excellent staff on a tremendous year. And we've been in their shoes where we didn't really deserve to go out, and we did. So I really feel for those coaches and those fine players.
Questions for the student athletes? Lindsay, could you just walk me through what was going through your mind when she stepped up to the spot, and then what was going through your mind after you saved the penalty kick?
Yeah, so they've advanced their last 2 games on PKs or on a PK call, the run of play, and so when that got called, I was like, this is not how I want to end my season. So when she stepped up to it, I was surprisingly calm. I thought I was going to be a little more freaking out, but she stepped up, and I had in my mind that I wanted to go right. I don't know, I decided that before she kicked that I wanted to go right, and luckily I dove right, and the ball was there, and my eyes probably got like this big, and I made the save, and I was really excited.
You're now the UNC single season save record holder. What does that mean to you, knowing the type of goalkeepers that have played here?
I mean, it means a lot because there's been some absolutely amazing goalkeeping that's come through here. So to see my name on any type of list with the caliber of players that have come through here is awesome. Just
for the record, the season record holder sent me an email. In fact, this woman probably doesn't even know that until today she was the record holder, but here it is. Her name is Molly Current. She just sent me this thing. She lives a Cooper Run distance away from the stadium in San Jose. She bought tickets before the College Cup, which she feels gave us the margin of it being able to advance. So she's taking full credit for the fact that we've advanced to San Jose. The girl's name is Molly Kern. I think she's a law professor at...
I'm Facebook friends with her. She knew the record was false.
Oh, she did? Okay. So where does she teach law?
I think in San Francisco. But
Okay. Anyway, so she sent me something, so it all comes full circle. I love it.
Madison, there was a lot of confusion when you were able to put the ball into the net. You know, what did you see, and were you trying to place it in the goal, or were you just trying to get it so that she could make a save at least?
Yeah, I think the confusion was it wasn't anything about offsides. I thought they thought that I had perhaps handballed it, but pretty much it's just a body. Our initial move is to defend the ball and just kind of bulldoze our way up top. So I was able to get hit with it, and then Annie played me a ball out to my left, and I mean, truly, I was probably just crossing it, wasn't shooting it, and mishit it. But on my last goal, I had chipped the keeper. So I think my tendency now is more to chip than to actually strike through the ball. But it went in, and then everyone kind of looked, and I looked at them, and no one really celebrated until like after the fact. But I mean, in these kind of games, you're just so happy that we can get any type of result and move on for another week with the team.
Coach Dorrance, you guys haven't made it to the College Cup in a couple of years. What does it mean for you guys to finally be able to get back to the College Cup?
Well, it's the grand party for the women's collegiate season, so everyone wants to be at the final party, and I've missed being there. Honestly, if someone had asked me in the preseason if this team was going to make it, I would have basically bet against it. We've lost 8 starting players from last year, including our 2 best players who right now are competing in a U20 World Championship. So this was not the sort of team that was slated to end up in the Final Four. But what I want to credit is an incredible collection of senior leaders. Obviously, Lindsay's among them. We developed a tremendous chemistry, and I don't want to pretend for a second that, all of a sudden we're favored. We're certainly not. We're a dark horse, but the kids played hard for each other. I think we're a difficult team to play against. And obviously we've got phenomenal goalkeeping. And we're scoring goals by committee, and obviously scoring goals when we're trying to cross the ball. And I've been to a lot of Final Fours, and I know that teams that get there's a combination of reasons. One is good luck, and the other thing is the absence of bad luck. And we've had some good luck, like her attempted cross that went in. We haven't had bad luck, like Lindsay guessing right and the girl going left. No, she guessed the right way. So a lot of things have to line up for you to advance, and everything has lined up for us. But for us, or any team actually, to get to a Final Four, there's got to be some sort of narrative. And the narrative of this team is a collection of phenomenal seniors and leaders that develop a great chemistry. We lost 2 games in a row, one to the University of Southern California and then to NC State. And I think a lot of teams would have rolled over, and our team did not. The next day after the state loss, they still were joyful in practice, and I love coaching this team. They've improved dramatically since August, and I love being with them, and now we get to spend the last possible week we could spend with this collection of seniors, and I couldn't be happier.
And there's the potential that you guys will be able to play Duke in the semifinals. So does that put a little extra pep in your step, or, feel the rivalry?
Actually, what we'd rather do as we go through the NCAA tournament is not play a conference team. So if I'm honest with you, we try, and I think even the NCAA tries to set up a bracket where you don't hit your conference rivals early. The only possible advantage we have with the way we play is to play a team that hasn't played us. We play a very unique style. We press for 90 minutes. And teams that play against us on a regular basis probably have a better opportunity because they know what we're going to do. So if we had a choice, we'd prefer not to play a conference rival. But obviously we're very proud of the teams in the conference that have done well, and certainly Duke last year went to the championship game. And they have an excellent team because we played them earlier, and they outshot us something like, 36-6? What was it? 30-6. So there we have it, and we tied them. And we tied them because of this young woman on my left. So Duke's a very talented team. They're certainly a lot more talented than we are. And if we had a choice, we'd rather play a team that is not from our conference. So even though my wife taught at Duke for 33 years, I'm rooting for the team they're playing against tomorrow.
Coach, you've obviously been around women's college soccer for a long time. They've started getting the fans in droves that they didn't have before here at South Carolina. How impressed are you at the culture that they've created here with South Carolina women's
I think it's fantastic. In fact, I'm jealous of it. And the other thing I like is the construction of that stadium and the intimacy of it is something we've always lacked. Now, what's happening now, which is kind of cool for us, is we play in the middle of a track. There's nothing personal about our environment, but I loved everything about this stadium. It is very intimate. The fans are right there, and I could hear, what the fans were saying, and that's a very powerful quality in a home stadium. We are building a stadium. We're going to break ground in May of next year. It should be we should be in it by the fall of 2018. And if we can create anything as intimate as this, I think the stadium construction will be a great success. I think the fans here were tremendous fans, and the crowd was massive. And I think what Shelley and her team has done to attract the people that come to our games and support her is tremendous. And I would love for all of our teams to do that. I think the unreal future for us, if we want to have credibility at a collegiate level, is to attract a gate. I think it's certainly very possible. In 1999 at the World Cup final, there were 90,000 people that paid top dollar to watch women's soccer. This last World Cup played in Canada. The viewership across the Canadian stadiums was phenomenal, as was the television viewership. So I think athletic directors out there that are looking for an additional revenue stream, I think they should look to their soccer teams. And I think if they promoted them and created environments like you guys have here, I think it's going to bode well for our future. I think we should all try to be self-sustaining at a minimum, because right now we are there by the grace of football and men's basketball. And I would love for all of us in women's soccer to contribute to some of our revenue responsibility. And environments like this, I think, are going to take us there.
Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you. Two more, Maddie?